with Cuban Pete. I'm the king of the rumba beat. When I play the maracas, I go chick, chiggy, boom, chick, chiggy, boom. Hey!
Welcome to No Laughing Matter with Cuba Pete, a show that takes a critical look at the disparities between medical school education and society's growing healthcare inequities. Join Dr. Pedro Cuba Pete Greer each episode as he interviews the experts working to transform medical education and ensuring that future doctors are trained to provide equitable and compassionate healthcare for all communities. Dr. Greer received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2009, honoring his dedication to providing healthcare to underserved populations. As Dean of Roseman University College of Medicine in Las Vegas, Dr. Greer is committed to creating a medical school of the future where students embrace the need to unite the heart and science of healthcare. And now, the host of No Laughing Matter with Cuba Pete, Dr. Pedro Cuba Pete Greer.
Good day and welcome to Cuba Pete. I'm Pedro Jose Greer. They call me Joe, and I'm the Dean at the Roseman University College of Medicine. By the way, America's newest medical school. And one of the great things about having this medical school and having this podcast, which, by the way, is about the interaction of society and healthcare, society and healthcare education. How do we integrate them? But the end point is really simple. How do we get the proper care here in the Valley and the rest of this country to make sure that we truly are the healthiest nation, not the worst? I mean, there was one statistic that I actually used in a TED Talk, which is shocking. You guys look it up. Do you realize that if you live in Bangladesh, you will live longer than if you're from Mississippi?
I didn't know that.
Nope. And it's a shocking thing to say. Anyways, today, it's always great to have great guests, but it's even better to have a great guest that's a great friend. And we have a native, a Las Vegan who graduated UNLV, UNR, and is now, let's see, our medical director, our head of clinical skills. What else do? You do all the clinical teaching. This is, by the way, JP Vilai. He is a board-certified pediatrician who has devoted his career to improving the lives of our most vulnerable, our children, and not just our children, but he also took care of those at the Shannon West Homeless Shelter, adolescent care, LGBTQIA plus an adolescent population, those that are ignored by others. Interestingly, there's only two societies in academic medicine that you can get an award from. One of them is Alpha Omega Alpha, and that's based purely on your quantitative, its grades. And then there's the Gold Honor Society, Humanism Honor Society. And Humanism Honor Society is considered the best of the two because you are voted on by your peers as to the person who they wish to be their doctors. And Dr. Vilai was elected there. And as he also runs our Gold Humanism here, as he did before at his prior institution, where he was also the Faculty Educator of the Year for 22-23, the Faculty Mentor of the Year for the residency program, and a star for all of us. JP, welcome aboard.
Thank you so much for having me, Joe.
The question I have for you is, why do you do this?
No, that's a great question. I think that, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't absolutely love it. I didn't always know that I wanted to be in medicine. And in fact, I'm a pediatrician, and I did pediatrics last in my third year of medical school and fell in love with it. And I've been happy ever since, and I've really just wanted to make a difference. And this is my opportunity to do everything that I love: teaching, taking care of patients, being involved in the community. So happy to do it.
And creating new systems.
Yeah.
It's, how vulnerable are the children of the Valley?
Oh, well, there's a lot of children in the Valley who are really actually very vulnerable. I mean, we have homeless youth, we have LGBTQ youth, like we were saying. And then part of the issue is too, this is my hometown, look, this is my hometown, but, and I love to say great things about it. There are a lot of great things about it, but there are also some challenges, and I think that those are the challenges that we hope to address by bringing care, the best quality care, bringing empathic care, bringing humanism, bringing all these values back to medicine, which I feel like sometimes we've lost.
And you have this incredibly unique opportunity to be not just at a medical school as it was started and got started, but being a part of that process, being a part of a process to say, hey, health outcomes aren't good enough in this country. Let's change how we do this.
Yeah.
What's that like?
You know, as you've told me many times, you don't often get a chance to help start something. And I've just been really privileged to be a part of this from the ground up, going through the liaison committee on medical education process there to become accredited and all that.
No, we said what was fun.
What was
Not the LCME.
It's fun to be involved in everything. And I think that part of it is the educational piece. The most important thing I feel is the students. Finally having students after all this time of being here for how many years, and for you, many more years before that.
And here's the amazing thing. We had 8 weeks to admit a class of 64. Every other medical school in the United States of America had 12 months plus. Well, folks, we did it in not only 8 weeks, but we have the highest GPA and MCAT scores in the entire Valley. Way to go, Roadrunners.
And a lot of Nevada residents as well. Yeah, they're amazing. These students, I have to say, I think the admissions committee and everybody did actually a very good job, because now that I've been involved with students for a while, they're fantastic. And I hope that they'll continue that.
And we want to have a medical school here because let's be frank. The elephant in the room is the toxic nature of academia. Couple that with the toxic nature of healthcare business, and you just have an incredibly toxic environment. However, we need to produce physicians that have character, that have virtue. For all these years, we brought in what we said were the brightest and the best. We have some of the greatest discoveries. My gosh, our patents are off the wall compared to the rest of the world. So are our health outcomes, but in the opposite direction. So let's take this brilliance and add something to it. And that's the character base behind it. And trying to change the atmosphere and the culture of academia so that it's an encouraging, enriching. And we're doing that with Kern and with Gold. Do you want to mention any of that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that that's amazing that we're working with Gold Foundation, we're working with Kern, but also we're involved in this great initiative where every week we teach people about social health. We teach people about social determinants of health, professionalism, values. This is our Roadrunner curriculum. And this is really important because not only are we teaching people what they need to know to pass the exams, but we're also teaching people about character, like you said, and about being empathic physicians. That's every week in the curriculum, and that's really unique about us, and we're so excited to be able to do that.
And 100% it's important. And for those that say, no, it's only the science, let me tell you something. I'm a hepatologist. I'm a super subspecialist. A patient comes to me referred by another physician. They're scared. I'm a super subspecialist. I can give them all the science in the world that they want. I can give them all the data that they want. But if I don't give them the empathy, if I don't give them the compassion, if I don't give them the opportunity to be the one that's the leading speaker, they don't trust what I say. If they don't get that done, guess what? They suffer and they might die. So yeah, all these other peripheral things are vital to what we do. We're not AI. We are not machines. We are human beings, and we have to treat other human beings the same way.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like, we should maybe not look at patients, but as people, and people want to be listened to. And that's the most important thing.
There's a wonderful gentleman here in the Valley by the name of Stowe Shoemaker. Stowe Shoemaker used to be the dean at the School of Hospitality at UNLV. He is one of the most brilliant researchers and deans I've ever met. And he co-authored a book, Hospitable Healthcare, and how in healthcare, we're the only business in the world where the customer's not the most important, but the doctor is, and we want to change that. Not that the doctor isn't important. I'm a doctor, so obviously I think it's important. But the only reason it's important is the more important reason, which is the patient. And that's what we got to get back to. And JP, throughout your career, what have you seen that you would love to change?
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of things I would love to change, and I think we're fortunate to be a part of that. I think the culture of medicine, as you mentioned, it can be very toxic. I remember being in residency and thinking, boy, these people are mean. They're not very happy either. And we need to change that because, we need people to go into medicine. We need people to be empathic physicians. We need people to care for
You
other
know,
people. And who's going to want to go in if everybody keeps hearing bad things about it?
it's interesting. About 30 years ago, when I was frontline teaching, I remember talking to the students about, at that time, very few people had done anything. So we had very few early studies on the homeless and the consequences of all that. And we're sitting there and we're going, well, why do we need to be nice to them? And we said, well, because they're human beings and they're sick. And as we're trained with triage, the sickest get the care first, regardless of who they are. And, and you're up there teaching and the students are looking at you and you're giving them all these statistics that are the most depressing things in the world. You live longer if you live in Bangladesh. Oh, that's great news. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. And then you look at them and you say, and now we're going to go, at the time it was under the bridges. I go, but they don't want a depressed medical student from the data that they just heard. Come in with a smile and an open heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's,
we have great foundational faculty here. We have a lot of people who are teaching great basic science and all that. But in particular, what the students like to listen to is the clinicians. And so as clinicians, we are huge role models for them. And so as much as we can be a role model, as much as we can role model that empathy, that character, those virtues, those values.
and also, and all these other educators are invaluable to produce what we need to produce. However, that student is looking at a clinician because those are the experiences that they will have in those contexts. It's not that you can't have those experiences. So JP, the world is yours. You get a couple shots at what do you want to do to make this place better? Before that, let me ask you one question. What do you think is the most pressing public health problem in America?
Oh, that is a tough question. You didn't prepare me for that one. I think, again, I think it probably is the culture of medicine. I think that we really need to change medicine in a way that is welcoming, not only for patients and not only for people who are taken care of, but also for students who are going into it, because these students are going to be the future physicians of America. They're going to be the workforce. They're going to be the ones who are going to help us make all these important, positive public health outcomes. So that's really important to me as a clinician and also as an educator, that we really do this right so that families get taken care of and that the students really get a great experience and do it the right way.
100%. And we also give them the basis to be able to produce the next leaders. Give them the ability to be creative thinkers. Okay. And let's make this world just a little better. By the way, I did mention, not on the air, but at the beginning, I was going to call out Santi. Santi's been filming this year now. How many years now? 5 years. Thank you. He's behind the camera. Can you just say hi, for God's sakes? There you go. All right, you guys. Dr. Vilai, I truly want to thank you. I want to thank you not for being just on the show, but for what you do, for your commitment to the profession. And the facts, folks, let me give you one little very simple fact. This is a fact. It's not fake. It's real. Pediatricians are the most altruistic of all physicians. Pediatricians end up being the happiest of all physicians. And pediatricians get paid less than any other physician, which means if you do things for the right reason, with your heart, with your profession, you'll live the wealthiest life in the world. So with that, folks, it's Cuba Pete. Let's make this world better. Let's make us the healthiest nation in the world, truly the healthiest nation in the world. And let's listen to scientific data.
If you enjoyed today's podcast, please subscribe, like, and comment on your favorite podcast platform. If you'd like to support the groundbreaking work that Dr. Greer is doing at the Roseman University College of Medicine, please donate at the link below. Thanks for tuning in to No Laughing Matter with Cuba Pete, as together we work to unite the heart and science of healthcare to serve all in our communities. See you next time.